Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Atheist Experience. We are done being preempted by nonsense. A couple weeks off to repaint the studios, which that we can understand that completely. We come back for a couple weeks, and then last week we got preempted, so there was no show. For the people who don't live in Austin who are listening via the podcast, that's why there wasn't a new episode last week. But we don't expect to be preempted again until around October, when we'll have our next run-in with the Mormons. Who preempt us twice a year so that they can preach to everybody. But I'd like to welcome everybody. It's August 27th, 2006. This is a live call-in talk show. We will have the number up for you shortly. It's a chance for atheists in our community to interact with the public, for you to ask questions, for us to discuss beliefs and everything else. The audio portion of this program, as mentioned before, is available via podcast and download from the ACA website, www.atheist-community.org. And in addition to this program, the ACA also sponsors an internet biweekly audio program called The Nonprofits, which is hosted by the man to my right, Jeff D. Welcome.
Thanks, Matt.
How you doing?
Good. Nice to be on the show.
I skipped over that
Again?
Yeah. Jeff was here a couple weeks ago. He hosts the Nonprofits along with Dennis Lubay and Russell Glasser, and I'm on there as kind of an engineer chime-in guy. So we had a lot of fun. We were live yesterday. We'll be live again on September 10th. And we had more people connect live directly to the stream than ever before.
We had like 21, was it?
Yeah, 21 or 22.
Wow.
And for those who listen to the show, we were actually not under an attack that we thought we were.
Weren't you?
There was a problem with somebody's machine, one of our regular listeners, that was causing a loop of constant connections.
Does that mean he was the supposed attacker
He
last
was.
time?
He was. It was the same
okay.
IP. But I think somebody helped him fix his machine, whatever, the firewall or whatever that was preventing him from connecting. But as a reminder, Nonprofits is live again September 10th, and it's at 2 p.m. Central, which is 1900 Universal Time, we've come to discover. And there's a chat room that we run alongside that. Those who want to listen live and participate can get information at nonprofitsradio.com for how to connect to the stream and to the chat room. Both of those programs are sponsored by the Atheist Community of Austin, a nonprofit educational organization promoting positive atheism and the separation of church and state. The ACA has weekly meetings at Romeo's on Barton Springs every Sunday at 11:30, except for the third Sunday of the month when we host a lecture series at the Austin History Center, which is located at the corner of 9th and Guadalupe. There will not be a lecture in September, however. Instead, we're going to be having, we were going to do this anyway, but there won't be a September lecture, and it's time to remind everybody that there will be the Bat Cruise on September 23rd, which I believe is a Saturday. More information is available at the ACA website. You do not have to be a member to attend this or any of the other events. Any atheist or atheist-friendly people are welcome. This was originally geared towards members, so for those of you who aren't members, you'll have to get in touch with a member in order to pay whatever fees are involved for the cruise. We host a number of social gatherings and get-togethers throughout the week. One in particular is Atheist Happy Hour, Thursdays at Ninfa's on Anderson near I-35 and 183. That begins at 7:30. Have a couple drinks, get a dinner, talk to some people. There's new people dropping by every week, and we never know how many we're going to have, but it's always a good time. So without a lecture, I guess the only other announcement is the reminder that after today's show, like after every other show, the cast and crew get together and we go out to Threadgills on Riverside. And the show ends at 6 o'clock. We normally get there between 6:30, 6:45, closer to 6:30 usually. Any atheist or atheist-friendly people are welcome to come down there, but if you're coming down to preach or proselytize or provoke, don't bother. We'll have the number up for you shortly, and you can call in and say what's on your mind, because we kind of like to eat dinner and just enjoy ourselves. So, and I don't think there's any other announcements. So, without further ado, Jeff D.
Thank you, Matt. Well, this is an unusual thing, being on the show twice in a row. I know there was the 1 week gap in the middle one. What preempted us in the middle show?
Last week there was some kind of, I don't know, public access celebration weekend where they were talking about what kinds of wonderful shows are on.
Oh, well, you shouldn't call that dumb.
Well, the part that was dumb about it was it only preempted the first 15 minutes of the show, and the rest of the show was just ads. So we could have gone on 15 minutes late if we'd have been able to work that out, but we didn't.
Well, but as a result of being on as co-host twice in a row, I have the unique opportunity of being able to respond sort of directly to email that we got from our last show.
Yeah.
And we got several, but this one I thought was the most interesting. KL writes, "I'm just discovering your show on podcast, and I love it. I really appreciate the patience and respect you show your callers." I'm not 100% sure that the last show he saw was the last one that I was on, but maybe it was. I mean, a lot of the email that we got was of the nature of saying that we dealt with the callers well.
Yeah.
Too often the hosts of atheist shows give in to the natural frustration of dealing with stupid ideas again and again. Keep keeping an even keel. By the way, I would like to hear that as a topic of a show. Why so many atheists come across as angry and bitter. I understand, being an atheist myself, but I know that Christians do not. My wife is a Christian, and she gets the same way when dealing with sects that are more fundamentalist than her own. But she can't quite understand why I get so frustrated with some of her ideas. So that's what I like to talk about. Why is it that atheists get this reputation for being angry and bitter? And I think the main thing is we are pretty frustrated. This question, the whole question, how come atheists seem angry and bitter, strikes me as pretty much the same question as, I don't know, how come Polish people don't like Polish jokes? Or, how come black people seemed so angry and bitter when they were enslaved? If you take a group and you subject them to pretty constant prejudice, they tend to get a little annoyed with it. And I think that's really the core of what we're talking about. It's not so much, KL brings up the issue of dealing with stupid ideas again and again. And of course, we're doing a show, so it's a call-in show.
Right.
It's to be expected. It's not like we have the same Christian listeners every week. They haven't all heard all of our responses to the standard things they have to say. And so we do get a lot of the same question over and over again. That can lead to burnout. I used to be the host of the show. I'm not anymore, and I'm kind of glad. But that's not really the issue. The issue is, for me anyway, the issue is the prejudice. In our culture, atheists are the most hated and feared minority that I know of. Maybe, I don't know, maybe pedophiles, if they count as a minority, are hated and feared more than us.
I hope they're a minority. I hope there are far fewer pedophiles than atheists. That would.
I think there probably are, but...
How many priests are there? I was sorry.
Now, only a certain percentage of priests
You're right.
are pedophiles and protected by their church.
The rest are in Protestant churches.
Yeah, so for some reason, it's still okay in our culture to say the most horrifically slanted, bigoted things about atheists when every other reputable group has managed to assert its right to proper treatment.
And in fairness, I just basically did the same thing in reverse.
Yeah, you just did.
Yeah, and like this person and several other people have commented, I really appreciate the way that you're respectful towards